Hotep fam, back again, coming right back at you. Told you I'll probably put up another post. This video is about God being a murderer, him and Moses, in the Bible. And my question is, why would this God want to make Moses murder his own family? I know this is probably hard for y'all because your pastor at the chocolate church factory, Pastor Willy Wonka, is not going to tell you this. But ask him anyway when you get back to the church. We're going to start off with Exodus chapter 2. Look this up in your Bible. Exodus chapter 2. Where it's saying, because Moses was a murderer, and I'm going to start off with chapter 2, verse 11. And it came to pass in those days, and they try to say these in those days to get you and I to actually think this happened. This shit ain't happened. This is a mythical story that they tried to make would happen. And it came to pass, this is chapter 11, in those days when Moses was grown, he went out unto his brethren and looked and their burdens, and he spied an Egyptian smiting a Hebrew, one of his brethren. And he looked this way and that way, and when he saw that there was no man, he slew the Egyptian and hid him in the sand. And when he went out of the second day, behold, two men of the Hebrews strove together, and he said to him that did the wrong, wherefore smitest thou thy fellow? And he said, who made thee a prince and a judge over us? Intendest thou to kill me as thou killedest the Egyptian? And Moses feared and said, surely this thing is known. Now, when Pharaoh heard this thing, he sought to slay Moses, but Moses fled from the face of Pharaoh and dwelt in the land of Midian. Very key. He dwelt in the land of Midian. Now the priest of Midian had 7 daughters, and they came and drew water and filled the troughs to water their father's flock. And the shepherds came and drove them away. But Moses stood up and helped them and watered their flock. And when they came to Reuel, their father, he said, how is it that ye are come so soon today? And they said, an Egyptian delivered us out of the hand of the shepherds. Notice that they calling Moses an Egyptian. They said, an Egyptian delivered us of the hand of the shepherds, and also drew water enough for us, and watered the flock. And he said unto his daughters, and where is he? Why is it that ye have left the man? Call him, that he may eat bread. And Moses was content to dwell with the man, and he gave Moses Zipporah his daughter. This man gave Moses his wife, his daughter, and Moses comes back and murdered these people. And she bare him a son, even had a son by this woman, and he killed their father. And he called his name Gershom, for he said, I have been a stranger in a strange land. And it came to pass in process over the time the king of Egypt died. And the children of Israel sighed by reason of the bondage, and they cried, and their cry came up unto God by reason of bondage. Okay, that's well and good. Now, we clearly state that this people from Midian, where Moses had went, he went into the land of Midian, and one of these kings gave Moses a daughter. Now, let's go to Numbers. See what Numbers has to say. This is Numbers chapter 31. Very key. Now remember, he's in the land of Midian. This is Numbers chapter 31, chapter 1, verse 1. And the Lord spoke unto Moses, saying, Avenge the children of Israel of the Midianites. Avenge the children of the Midianites. Afterward shalt thou be gathered unto thy people. And Moses spoke unto the people, saying, Arm some of yourselves unto the war, and let them go against the Midianites, and avenge the Lord of Midian. Of every tribe 1,000 throughout all the tribes of Israel shall ye send to the war. So there were delivered out of the thousands of Israel 1,000 of every tribe, 12,000 armed for war. This is verse 6. And Moses sent them to the war, 1,000 of every tribe, them and Phinehas the son of Eleazar the priest, to the war with the holy instruments and the trumpets to blow in his hand. And they warred against the Midianites as the Lord commanded Moses, and they slew all the males. This is in verse 7. And they slew all the males. And they slew, this is 8, and they slew the kings of Midian, beside the rest of them that were slain, namely Evi, Rechem, and Zur, and Hur, and Reba, 5 kings of Midian. Balaam also, the son of Beor, they slew with the sword. Now you can read this for yourself. And the children of Israel took all the women of Midian captives and their little ones, and took their spoil, all of their cattle and their flocks and their goods. And they burnt all their cities where they dwelt, and all their goodly cattle with fire. Now this is this God that had Moses murder his own family. Didn't have nothing to do with Egypt. This God is a murderer. And, you know, we're going to have to start paying more attention to this book and what this Hebrew God was actually up to. Because as far as I'm concerned, God is just your government ordinance department. And for this God to be so merciful, he is about as holy as a dog. That's why his name God spelled backwards is dog. This is a Hebrew God. It's not an African God. The African God is the black woman and the black man. They're the African gods and goddesses. We've never ever been separated from God. It was these other people who were separated from God and trying to get back there. But they done tricked us into thinking that we were separated from God and we have to go in their book to get back to God. We was the gods all along. Till next time, Hotep. Hope I can put something on you. Do your study. Peace.